San Diego State with the win of the year so far, a 73-70 overtime dub over number 6 Houston. That was a fun game to watch. I mean, first half not so much. They got out to that early lead, but then what I saw and what I definitely saw in the box score that was glaring after that first half. So at halftime, I was looking at the box score here on ESPN, and I was like, okay, so really, what's the difference here? And I knew that Houston was doing well from the free throw line in the first half, but I didn't know that it was that well. They shot 11 for 11 from the free throw line. And the Aztecs obviously did not shoot 100% from the free throw line. And the Aztecs were down, what, 5? Yeah, 30-25. Miles Bird had some points, but it was BJ Davis and Nick Boyd had 0 points through that first half. So that was crazy. And that's why I was encouraged going into the second half was like, okay, Houston's not going to keep doing this well with the free throws. And you're telling me Nick Boyd and BJ Davis are going to continue to do nothing? Now, BJ went 1 for 5 in this game, but Nick Boyd was not going to be silent. And then Miles Bird, what a freaking impact he had there in that second half. What an amazing play that he had going down the lane, and then I forget which Houston defender it was, but they go up on him and he has to get in there, not be afraid of it, and then the up and under for that layup there. I think that was in overtime. Might have been big free throw late as well. So what I loved was, yeah, things weren't all going great for the Aztecs, and Houston is the 6th ranked team in the nation, big physical team. And the Aztecs, they have some of that, but they're not as big and physical as they were, as recently as last year. Having Jaden Latee would really help, right? And Magoon Guath, I mean, it's his first year, and he's going to get stronger, right? But what I saw was guys fighting. Compton, 13 points off the bench. Some of the buckets that he was getting in that second half were huge, just muscling through whatever it took, get those 2 points. Guys that weren't having their best nights, but they flushed the first half and they come out in the second half, and it doesn't matter. You're in the game. You're down by 5. Okay, you can go win that game. You can go win that game. Yeah, this was obviously, if they would have, let's say they would have lost close to Houston, because this definitely could have happened tonight, right? And we look back and we look at the free throws, the not amazing first half there offensively from some of the guys that have been good, especially someone like BJ Davis, who had 18 points, I think, the last couple of games against Creighton and Oregon. Let's say they lose. Would that have hurt their resume? Yeah, because it was close, but it obviously wouldn't destroy their resume. It wouldn't be why they didn't make the tournament, right? I think if the Aztecs don't make the tournament, it's going to be because they underwhelm in Mountain West play. I think these ranked opponents, considering without Reese Waters against Gonzaga, it was pretty close. That was not oh my gosh, this isn't even close. The Aztecs still hung in there for most of that game, beating Creighton, obviously. And I know Creighton was without, I think, their point guard in that game, but they did have their big man, who, by the way, didn't play today because of rest, I think. But then their point guard played today. They beat Notre Dame, by the way. So San Diego State gets the win over Creighton, who then beat Notre Dame. And they hung in there against Oregon. Oregon is a really solid team. They're going to be ranked. I think they're definitely going to be ranked. We'll see. I think San Diego State will get votes. I don't know if they'll be ranked, but since they have 2 losses right now, but it's losses against 2 quality teams, Oregon and Gonzaga. It's not like they lost to one of the easier opponents that they had at home, And again, this is a team that's growing, got some pieces where this is their first year at San Diego State, or It's their first season playing in games, regularly for San Diego State. So that's going to take time, obviously. And I mean, these last 4 games, Gonzaga, Creighton, Oregon, and Houston. I know that there's other teams in the country that have, they were facing some tough teams during this Thanksgiving and these tournaments, right? But that's a tough 4-game stretch right there for San Diego State. And for them to come out of that stretch 2-2, a win over the 6th-ranked team in the country, or a win over another ranked team in Creighton on a neutral floor, that's pretty solid. And again, none of those games were like embarrassing games, I don't think, for San Diego State. Was I disappointed in the Gonzaga game? Yeah. But I didn't expect San Diego State to go win that game against Gonzaga. Even though it was at home, I was not expecting them to win that game. I was expecting them to fight, be in it. I think they could have done better in that game, but in no way was it like an embarrassing loss, I don't think. And then losing to Oregon, I don't think that should be looked at as, an embarrassing loss. Lost by 10. Could they have done better on the boards? Those second chances? Yeah. And I'm sure Dutch is going to harp on that here before their next opponent, which I believe is Fresno State coming up. Yeah, at Fresno State on Wednesday. Next Wednesday at Fresno State before they're back home to face Wayne McKinney's former team, USD. But yeah, they could have done better in some of these games. But considering how early it is in the season and the quality of opponents that they have been facing, and that San Diego State had a bad first half, I think, here against Houston. It was not a great first half with a couple of their guys not even scoring, a couple of their starters, right? To come back and get this win and to do it in overtime. By the way, I forgot about this. I need to mention this. JCJ, Jared Coleman-Jones, that 2, thought it was a 3 in the moment, but the 2, that late 2, I think in late second half, off the backboard, that was a really impressive shot. And that was 2 points there that San Diego State needed because they wouldn't have been able to go to overtime without those 2 points. So it was a lot of different contributions from this team. He dropped 16 tonight, 18 from Miles Bird, who has been really impressive this season, in my opinion. And Grant Hill on the broadcast was talking about BJ Davis, and I think it was in the first half, essentially him talking about, a progression, BJ Davis this year compared to last year. It's like, yes, but BJ wasn't playing last year, he was sitting on the bench and getting in the, the garbage minutes. He wasn't playing. So has he progressed? I'm sure San Diego State, the coaches would say yes, but San Diego State, I mean, this guy, let's remember, he was sitting behind someone like Lamont Butler, Darion Trammell, talented guys. So maybe he was talented all along, and he's now getting that opportunity to shine, right? I'm loving having Nick Boyd on this team. Farrah Compton, the freshman, he's an interesting, entertaining player as well. And San Diego State, I'm seeing that defensive identity continue to show itself. So as we go for, let's look big picture after this win. So what does this mean? I think, beating Creighton, beating Houston, going 2-2 in this really tough 4-game stretch, that's going to do them well come March, deciding who makes the tournament, what seed. Because San Diego State, if they do well in the Mountain West, and let's say they don't win the Mountain West, but they finish second, they're still going to be a tournament team. And this win against Houston, that win against Creighton, that's really going to help them, stand out from other, let's say, Mountain West teams, or maybe one of the 2 Pac-2 teams, or one of the teams, a team maybe in the ACC. Maybe they don't finish second, but let's say it's a mid-ACC team. And, well, what did that team do when they were facing the number 6 team or another ranked Creighton team or you go to another Big East school or something like that, another school like that, who's going to have the stronger resume? San Diego State can say, hey, we hung in there a little bit against Gonzaga, we hung in there against Oregon, and we beat Creighton, and we beat Houston, and it wasn't at Viejas, and we were without Reese Waters. They can say that. So I think that's going to definitely help their resume. I think San Diego State is going to be a tournament team. And these wins, by the way, can also give San Diego State confidence, if they didn't have it already, that even if they do have a younger squad, so what? Make your free throws, don't make the mistakes, play well defensively. San Diego State can shoot as well. You can go play with almost any other team, I feel like, maybe every other team in the nation. We're seeing UConn. I mean, they lost, 3 consecutive games? And that was the team, right? Going into the season, obviously, with them, with the championships they were coming off of. So it's up for grabs this year. And why not San Diego State? Why can't it be San Diego State? I'm really interested to see what this team's going to look like when Reese Waters is healthy. And we get into Mountain West play. How are they going to look like? Do they play at Wyoming this year? I think they do, probably. How are they going to do? At Boise State, right? Versus Utah State, at New Mexico, at Air Force, at Nevada. That's going to be an interesting one. At Utah State in February, at Wyoming in March, at UNLV. What is that team going to look like then? And you have these other wins, like I just hit on. They're going to be in a good spot. This is a big win. Big win. Now, San Diego State still needs to earn the respect of some, because I'm reading on ESPN right now. Someone here, whoever wrote this article, or I don't know if this was AI that did this, it says by the AP. Miles Bird is spelled Milesbird, like a bird, which is incorrect. So there's room for improvement, I guess, from San Diego State. Let's make sure that Miles Bird's name is spelled correctly in March. They're going to know who that guy is, because he can play defense and he can do a lot of things on offense. Athletic. He's got energy, obviously. Him and Nick Boyd. So a really fun win. I was glued to it. And yeah, this is big, not just for now, but down the road when those decision makers are looking at different teams and where they should be ranked and who has better wins. San Diego State, a couple of big wins that they picked up here in Vegas.